Wait, before we watch this, this is him making fun of the George Floyd thing, right?
He had a guy kneel on his neck and then said see. When it didn't kill him. That is 100% mocking the death.
But I also don't have 4 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in my system.
That's
and again,
true.
I'm just laying down because this is more comfortable. No, I can still get up, I can switch my face. It's more comfortable for me to lay
And so
my
did
head
George
down.
Floyd, by the way. He did pull his head up and move his head around, so...
And then he is making fun of him for being high lol.
So when he says that he doesn't have 4 times the fentanyl in the system, that's him joking about that?
That is an accusation and making fun of him for being a drug addict.
Well, it's not an accusation. It was true that George Floyd had that amount of fentanyl in his system.
193 pounds, and token out, you can see right here is 195 pounds.
It doesn't seem like they're making fun of it yet. So I want to see Abba's take on this.
In a first world country like America, to engage in politics like a third world country. That's how y'all talk about violence in your country. And it's not just Dems. I've seen Republicans do it. And so, do I really care that someone else made a fuck around? I don't care. This is your playground. This is the sandbox that y'all created. You want to condemn all this behavior, you guys go ahead. But as an outsider, I'm just seeing more of the same.
What about right-wingers making fun of George Floyd dying? Did right-wingers call our people on their side about it?
I think so. And to be honest, I don't think no big player, big right winger, or big like the Tim Pools, the Steven Crowders, the Daily Wires, they were not making fun of it at all.
Yes, they did.
Oh, give me clips then. I'll evaluate that, because I really do strongly believe that they were not making fun of it.
Globalize my agenda 69. Steven Crowder literally recreated it lol. Globalize my agenda 69. Link.
Just like with Epstein, I am going to be a human experiment here because I don't buy it. It's time for me to go outside and live on concrete. Neon neck /
Wait, before we watch this, this is him making fun of the George Floyd thing, right? Not just like an analysis of what he thinks happened. This is like him making fun of it, like explicitly, right?
Shoulder for 9 minutes.
Like, he's not trying to just prove a point and like what he thinks happened.
Globalize my agenda 69. He gets a couple friends to sit on his neck.
Yes, but like, is that him making... Okay, well, let's see if he's making fun of that. Because a recreation of the thing isn't necessarily him making fun of it. I just want to make sure.
For people who what we're going to do here, and again,
clear.
like Gerald just set up, hopefully Lando gets back from his pee, or otherwise he just doesn't want to be involved with this segment.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Look, this is right here because we did this last week where
He is a comedian,
Globalize my
so
agenda 69. From what I remember he did. It has been a while since I have seen this.
All right.
You know, someone who, and a lot of people out there, you can comment if you've been involved with any grappling sports.
I actually watched this when it came out too, but like I'm gonna rewatch it because like I never watched it on stream.
These aren't uncommon positions, right? Pinning positions.
Yeah.
We did it in the studio, and people say, well, that was on carpet, and you didn't do it for that long. I don't want to do this, but again, the point is the drugs, the agitation, the actively resisting arrest, the 3.5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl matters. I don't expect this to be pleasant, but I think that people need to see what it's like with the closest to, controlled conditions that we can recreate as far as body mass, weight, situation, to see what it actually might be like if someone is not in an agitated, significantly overdosed state. That's the reason for this, and no camera tricks, no cuts. I believe you'll have me on the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm going to lay down here. We'll have people restrained. So Token is...
Oh, you got to step back towards the building there. You're going out of range. There you go. Step back towards...
Oh, is it the microphone that's out of range?
Right
Okay,
there
you go. 193 pounds, and Token you can see right here is 195 pounds.
There you go.
2 pounds.
Okay, so they are legitimately actually just doing a recreation. They're not... Well, we'll just keep going. It doesn't seem like they're making fun of it yet.
It's over that much.
2 pounds over, okay.
Or at least to
I don't want
me.
to weigh myself right now because after my big injury, but let's go with 230.
There you go.
Hey.
So the microphone needs to
I
stay
don't think
about
you need to
where
weigh
you
yourself. It
are.
doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah.
Even Brendan is weighing himself. It doesn't matter. What were you saying there, Gerald?
I was saying the microphone needs to stay roughly where you are right there. We get a
I
little...
need to stay roughly where I am.
Yeah.
Okay, Brendan, can you remove the scale here? All right, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me while I'm on the ground here. Finnegan, that's not going to make any difference here. It's not going to make any difference.
He's trying.
Make sure you put the handcuffs on my wrist, not on my... So Finnegan, come here and hold this microphone because I don't think that microphone works. All right. Put them on my wrist,
It's just
okay?
a prop, I think.
All right, so can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Is Dave back yet?
No, he is not.
No, he's still...
I think he's avoiding
By the way, these are much smaller handcuffs than actual... Put them around my wrist, not for him. These are much smaller handcuffs than actual handcuffs, just so you know.
Dave's back.
Hey, Dave's back.
So these handcuffs actually have less room, like a little bit more distance. Okay. Now I'm getting a little bit of echo in my own sound here. Okay,
Sorry.
we're going to lay down.
I was hoping I'd be part of this.
All right. Yeah. What?
What?
80?
You okay?
Oh, you want me to face this way?
Now,
Globalize
Steven, have
my
somebody
agenda
move your earpiece to
69.
the other ear 'cause-
He had a guy kneel on his neck and then said see. When it didn't kill him. That shit is 100% mocking the death.
Okay, I can understand that interpretation. But like the way that he says it at the end. So do you want me to just skip to that part? Or because it looks like he does sit, like he literally just gets for like, what, 10 minutes or something? All right, let's go right to this part then.
A brown belt, it's far more uncomfortable for me to be under side control frame. I would not be able to maintain that for 9 minutes. And by the way, I have been talking this whole time, and in case people wonder, I talk really fast, and I have a heart condition.
Yeah.
It's a chest condition where my bone goes into my heart. I have to get surgery in July. The point is,
Sounds like Alf.
the point is that this is probably more difficult
This is 3 years ago.
for me than it is for a lot of you out there watching. But I also don't have 4 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in my system.
I wouldn't say this is mocking. Like, he's literally describing his medical condition and what he's doing there. I wouldn't necessarily this is mocking.
And my father,
Unless I've skipped something in between this entire time that he... But, like, he's literally just sitting there the entire time.
but I also don't have 4 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in my system.
That's
and
true.
again, I'm just
30
laying
seconds.
down because this is more comfortable. No, I can still get up. I can switch my face. It's more comfortable for me to lay
And so
my
did
head
George
down.
Floyd, by the way. He did pull his head up and move his
Globalize
head
my
around.
agenda
So-
69. And then he is making fun of him for being high lol.
Just so you hear me speak, I can
So when he says that he doesn't have 4 times the fentanyl in the system, that's him joking about that? Or mocking him for having 4 times the amount of fentanyl? Because, like, that didn't seem like a joke to me when he said that.
speak this way where it sounds like
But
a
maybe you're talking about afterwards. He probably... Yeah, there's more of him. Yeah, let's just see it.
Yeah.
but it's less comfortable for me to do a neck flex.
Well, and I'm also just throwing stuff in there because I'm trying to, you know.
Time.
Sure,
10
you,
seconds.
Dave, you in their third
9,
chair, nice
8,
and comfy.
7,
It's very
After
nice.
having just relieved yourself.
5,
Oh, 5.
4,
We're almost there.
3,
4,
2,
2,
1.
1. And now we've been
Globalize my agenda 69. What else is it then?
Well, it's him just describing the situation. That doesn't mean he's... Like, it's neutral. It's not him making fun of the situation. But it's also not him being super sad about the situation either.
All right, Token Allen,
There
get
you
off.
go.
Get off. Okay, good. There we
Hang
go.
on,
We're
get him
done.
up.
All right,
Globalize
get him
my
up.
agenda
Get him up.
69. It is basically saying he died from the fentanyl, not the knee to the neck.
Not necessarily. I think he's saying the fentanyl played a really big part, a much bigger part than what people want to talk about. And he's also describing that just having the knee on the neck without anything isn't going to kill someone. Like, that was the whole point of him doing this for 10 minutes. He says that it's very uncomfortable and this is not something he would like people to do, but this isn't ultimately going to kill someone.
Go.
I think that was the whole point of this. I don't think he was mocking the fact that he was trying to make a point. I don't think he's mocking them or making fun of it. You can disagree with his point, I guess, but I don't think and he is a comedian, so I can understand why people could misinterpret.
LOL, let's say I recreate you streaming and randomly say, this is hard but I also don't have 15 terabytes of Kemp on my hard drive. How is that not mocking?
Well, well, that's not mocking. The only reason I would interpret that what you said is mocking is because I don't actually have CP on my hard drive.
Globalize my agenda 69. That is an accusation and making fun of him for being a drug addict.
It's not an accusation. It was true that George Floyd had that amount of fentanyl in his system. Like, they're not making fun. That's a real fact. That's not them making something up. Like, I think it's fine to just literally bring up the statistic that came out when they did the lab research. Like, that is what came out. People, like, the arguments against the whole fentanyl thing is that people say, well, he could have been like very just because he had like more than a lethal dose of like fentanyl in him doesn't necessarily mean that he could have died from it, because like they were arguing that George Floyd had like he was since he's been using it, he had a high tolerance and he's a big guy, so like he's not an average person, so that's why they were probably saying he probably didn't have enough to kill him because he had a high tolerance, and they would also argue that he's a big guy, so they would need a lot more than just they couldn't just use the average because he's not an average guy. He's much bigger, which means it would take a lot more of the same stuff to have the same effect on the guy. That was their arguments. Like, it's true that he actually did have that in his system. Like, that's not That's not them making that up or false. Like, that's just a fact. And people don't like to bring it up. Okay, let's just continue with it. Like, I think we're done with this though, right? Because I know he's probably, well, we're gonna keep going. We'll keep going.
People have made this Team Floyd and Team Chauvin. Okay, I'm certainly not in either of these teams.
Right.
I am in Team Truth. And I do think that when you look at, okay, we have what's on the George Floyd side.
Oh, you have a prompter.
A prompter? No. I'm live. I don't read stuff. I watch videos and play video games. Like, I got a game in the background right here. But we're watching this right now for the time being.
The ledger, right? Committing crimes, long rap sheet, took a lot of drugs, resisted arrest, right? Lied about every single thing that he said he lied. And then you have the Chauvin rap sheet.
What the heck?
Which is...
Globalize my agenda 69. I'm a bot, but you haven't bought anything yet. I have to stay invested because of that. Alina Boom. The one who speaks.
Oh, you mean the AI thing, the TTS, or text to speech. Yes, that's what you, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I got one of those. Yeah, it's fun. It's good. Because, like, I don't really get a lot of people chatting. So, like, whenever someone chats, I will immediately know that someone said something.
3 age lisps. Hello, friend. I see that you are new to Kick and need at least 75.
Yeah, see, that's the type of thing. That's the type of thing I get all the time from Kick. It's, hello, friend. I see that you chat. And then go to my Discord at the end of it. Like, those are bots. But, like, you're probably the first person in Kick to legitimately be a real person.
His knee on his neck. Waited too long for the paramedics to arrive. I think because at first what you put on that sheet was right away knee on his neck.
My God, the audio. Okay, so this is not me. This is the video. The video is out of sync. Crowder Bits, what are you doing? Like, when if you know a guy named Destiny, he's a streamer, YouTuber. He was making fun of the whole attempted deletion of the president of
Globalize my agenda 69. He is reading orders from the Mossad on the 5th screen.
On the 5th screen. I don't actually have 5 screens. I only got 4, but yeah. But it doesn't seem like he's actually making fun of it.
Right away was cruel. No, said I'm not going to shoot you.
But, like, the audio sync is completely broken on this video. Holy crap.
Conditioned car, tried to work with him, tried to be, he was very empathetic, honestly, but up until that point, and I think he got fed up. But then I think the things that remain on Chauvin's side of the ledger, knee on neck, that's a problem with the police department. That's a problem with the police department that you have, not a problem with him. Well, not right away performing CPR with a group, an audience of people, with a guy who's trying to get forward, being held back, and someone saying, "I'd slap the fuck out of you." A violent. They are trained to wait for medical professionals until the area is cleared. So I think that when you look at the and there are mistakes all around that have been made, and there need to be improvements, both. For people like Floyd, if there's someone out there, hopefully if you're living a life of George Floyd, that you make some improvements personally. We can't make those improvements systemically for you. And then hopefully systemically, some improvements with police training. That's what I've been saying forever, since the beginning of this, is police officers need better training so that they don't have to go to their tool belt and use a weapon. And here, you see one of the rare instances where he didn't have to go to his tool belt. He didn't have to use his gun or his taser, which probably wouldn't have worked considering the guy was on methamphetamine. But instead, he used the very limited training that he had. And anyone with 4 years of high school wrestling could tell you, well, that won't work. That won't work, and it's a risk that you don't need to take. So I think when you're looking at truth, you do have to say that most of our issues with Chauvin in this case lie with the police department, and I don't think you send someone to jail for murder for that. You think I'm wrong, let me know. I think reasonable people can disagree there. I think there's a reasonable disagreement for some people to have between, look, you gotta blame the department, you can't lock this guy away, and involuntary manslaughter in not turning him over early enough. I think that's a reasonable discussion.
Yeah.
What is not a reasonable discussion is that Chauvin went out looking to kill a black guy.
Watch louder.
Okay. All right. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Even though the audio is completely out of sync in this video, but that's reasonable. Yeah. I don't think he's making fun of this situation. I think he has a different opinion on what he think went down, and he was trying to prove a point, and you may disagree with that point or think that his point is flawed, but I don't think the claim that Crowder was making fun of the whole George Floyd thing. No, I don't think that's true. After watching most of it, because we didn't watch the middle part, but we could get there might be something I missed in the middle part if you want me to go into that.